The Torah says that Hashem has a hand, but isn't this just a metaphor? The Torah also says that Hashem loves us, but how can he have an imperfect human emotion? And what has this got to do with our relationship with him? If we can truly desire, know and love, so can Hashem, right? This is not the difference between us. In this video series, my goal is to release your mind and soul to be able to freely think about Hashem in the way the Torah talks about him. So far, we've seen that Hashem's essence and his expressions are different. Now, we're going to take it even further. We're going to show that they're not just expressions. They trace their origins all the way up to his very self, as authentic and as true as can be, in a magnificent, mysterious way that changes everything. As we leave the atmosphere, let's pause and reflect on what we've just said. We said that his love and feelings are creations, albeit lofty creations that arise from godliness, existing within the spiritual realm of Atzilut. And for many who've learned Kabbalah seriously, this is exactly where they stop. This is where they will say that I am wrong. Many who have studied a lot of Panimiyat Torah will say that they agree with me up until this point, but no further. They will say, whenever the Torah says that he loves us and he needs us and he is angry at us, and all the other descriptions, they agree. Yes, Hashem's love exists in Atzilut. Yes, it's rooted in Elokut and it's infinite. But, they argue, that's where it ends. Whenever the Torah says that Hashem loves, desires, regrets, or gets angry, it's only referring to Atzilut, not Hashem himself. This is a common and sincere objection, but it's also something that we will now need to deal with, because the sources do go deeper than that. For example, there's a remarkable series of Maimarim in Shara Yichud by the Mittler Rabbi, a very chashuv sefer, that explains that no, this is not the end of the story. In fact, he specifically says in chapter 8, the same as the Tzemach Tzedek in Hamanat Elokut, chapter 11, that these lofty Sefirot receive from the Sefirot of Atik Yamin, a higher spiritual realm beyond comprehension. And these Sefirot receive from the Sefirot of Adam Kadmon, the most abstract and primordial stage of creation, Hashem's first thought, so to speak. And then, shockingly, he goes even further, like the Alter Rebbe in Lahavin Masha Amabaz Rodachaim, that these receive from the Malchut, the emotions of Or Ein Sof, as if words could describe such a thing, but it says it right there. And then he takes it all the way up to the top, that they are concealed within Hashem's very Atzmut, his very essence, himself. He goes on to explain this even more conclusively in the following chapters. For example, that there are 3 stages in the process of Atzmut revealing himself, Yachid, Echad, and Kadmon, and says that the Sefirot are hidden even in Yachid, the hidden essence of the Hiyuli of Atzmut Ein Sof himself. This is indeed what the Tzemach Tzedek was getting at when he said that these Sefirot are made from godliness. So what do we learn from all this? The Sefirot are from Elokut. They are not just divine tools, but they are flowing from the essence itself. Hashem's expressions truly do originate from him on the very highest levels, and the sources say this explicitly. If you want to understand this, then go ahead and learn Shara Yichud. As the Rabbi Rashab said, when it comes to Ein Sof, it doesn't mean that he's infinite. That's a misnomer. It actually means that he's beyond all limits, even the limit of being beyond limits. Now we can kind of understand that. Ein Sof means beyond all limitation, not only beyond finitude, but even beyond the category of being beyond. That's what essence is. It's absolutely all capable, kol yachol, especially his supreme self. And therefore, nothing is excluded from him, not even what appears to be expression. Everything, including Hashem's love and involvement with us, comes from him and him alone. At this point, the Mittler Rebbe devotes an entire chapter to addressing a very pressing question, which I'm sure you're thinking right now. If Hashem's expressions are real and stem from him, how can this not imply a change? How can he remain unchanging if he loves, desires, and acts? To resolve this, he introduces the foundational concept of Simsum and Rashimu. Through these, he explains that from our perspective, We perceive a dynamic unfolding of divine activity, but from Hashem's perspective, there is absolutely no change. He remains utterly one, utterly unchanged. So, again, you might think, are we back to square one? Are we just saying again, it's only from our point of view, but it's not really true in some way? Is this now the final theological dead end? Not quite. Because what follows next changes everything. Indeed, some will be at this madrega in their learning. They've learnt Sha'ar Yichud. At this point, some people, even serious students of Chassidut, will say, I followed you this far, but no further. It feels like a roller coaster, doesn't it? Every time we climb to a new understanding of how Hashem's love or will or need could be real, we are suddenly told, yes, but not there, only on that level, not that level. The ground shifts beneath us constantly. It's dizzying. But this experience isn't a failure. It's part of the journey. The Mittler Rebbe himself describes this cycle, this kind of spiritual seesaw. Longing, clarity, confusion, and then deeper clarity. And the process doesn't mean we're lost. It means we're getting close. He says that a person has, in equal measure, love and awe of Hashem in his soul. A person wants to know Hashem, and his learning progresses like a seesaw. He hears that there's a level of Hashem that we can't understand, and this makes him so sad he mamash hates his life. Then he gains an understanding of even this level, and there is an equal measure of joy, unbridled joy. Then he hits another ceiling, another madrega of Yediat Hashem that he is told we cannot understand, and he's back to hating his very life. This is what he's talking about. Those who study these topics will relate. We find a beautiful source that says something deep about Hashem. Then we are told that this is only about Atzilut, and beyond we can't understand. Then we're told about Adam Kadmon. Then we're getting a little more ground. But then beyond that we can't understand. Then we're told about Sovev Kol Olamin, then Atzmut, and then the hidden Midot of Atzmut, and then we're told that we can't understand that, and then even that we start to gain an understanding about. If you don't believe me, go and see for yourself. Work hard on it. All the sources I'm giving you, go and look at them with a teacher. Work as hard on it as you do on your Gemara learning. I promise you, Hashem will bless your learning and you will see results. But I don't blame anybody for finding this incredible or unbelievable. On the one hand, we are told that we can't understand Hashem himself, his Asmut, and this actually makes perfect sense. How could we? But on the other hand, this raises a host of deep, difficult questions. If we can't understand him, then how can the Torah speak about him at all? How can he create time and exist outside of time and yet act within time? How can he be unchanging and yet desire, command, relate, judge, forgive? How can he choose, truly choose, if he lacks nothing? How can free will exist, or relationship, or meaning? These questions aren't fringe. They're at the heart of how we relate to Hashem. Yet many don't get bothered by this. They don't try to understand, because we reassure ourselves that it's meant to be this way. Atzmut is something that we aren't supposed to be able to understand after all. But deep down, our neshamas feel this existential pain. How can we not hate our lives, knowing that we can never understand Hashem? So in the next episode, we're going to work our way right to the top. We're going to iron out these theological issues that make people mistakenly think that we can't get to know Hashem. We can, and I'll show you how. Stay tuned.